All right, Randy, I got a half dozen frozen ice cream Snicker bar thingers.
Yes, sir.
What's the easiest way to you? Should be safe to leave the keys in it, I'm thinking. So obviously this field did not get planted this spring. These guys are out where it is muddier and heavier than where we're at most of the time. They got really thick topsoil, heavy yellow clay underneath. It's hard to get drained. They had a lot of issues out here this spring not getting all of their acres in. So these guys are really able to take advantage of that because it's a good opportunity to do some tiling and then get a good cover crop laid in here after they get done with their tiling, and should be a good piece next year. I brought you ice cream.
Yes, thank you.
You guys look like a bunch of state workers now. Oh, now I get why you sit in here and let those guys stay outside, huh?
Don't tell them there's air in here. Try not to mess with the vents at all, like when they're in view.
You get too close to the guys, you don't want to be fidgeting with the vents.
No. Like, oh look, the plow guy's uncomfortable.
So Randy, you picked yourself up a brand new tile plow.
Yes.
You got any awesome information about it?
2019 Interdrain 2050. Weighs about 80,000 pounds before we put any boots on it. Came with a cat engine with DEF fluid. Of course, it's got the government juice on it.
Yep.
560 horse.
You guys ever had a new plow before?
Not a new one, no.
No?
No.
What did you have before this? You had an Interdrain before this,
yeah,
right?
2011 2040, so size smaller. That was about 440 horse.
How many, I imagine you guys put a ton of hours on that thing.
Yeah. When it left, it had 3,600 hours, I think, on it. We got it, it had just over 1,000.
Okay. Does the AC work better in this one?
It does, yes. Don't tell the guys that.
Boy, they look hot out there.
At the top of that boot, there's a cutter crusher. So when you get to the end, you stop, cut it and crush it. It slices the pipe off and it crushes the end about this much, pinches it off.
Just
tight.
pinches the end of the
Pinches
tile
it tight.
close, so you don't have to cap it or anything.
Right. Then we drive another 10 feet to let the tail go out the end of the boot. And back to the next one.
That's that. You guys know there's AC in there? So this is a sub main that'll go run into the main that's up here. How big's the main in this field?
Here,
12 inch?
down that way along the trees, 15 inch.
15 inch down there. So what they're doing here is basically, you look across the field, they're doing what's called pattern tiling. I've got a main line underneath me that's a 15 inch main line. It's got 12 inch dual wall sub mains coming into it. What that means is that all the water around here drains into this point. They've run a big pipe into this spot. This flows out that way, heads over across the road into an area over there where it drains. All of these smaller 4-inch pipes are on, I haven't asked them what centers yet. It looks like maybe 40-foot centers, 50-foot centers coming in here. So every 40 or 50 feet, they're running a 4-inch pipe that comes into either a sub main or this main and ends up draining out across the field. That way, every acre in this field is tiled out to grab that extra water and bring it to this main and get off the field. There's a lot of misunderstood information when it comes to drain tile. So the basic idea of drain tile, what this tile is going to do is grab the extra water from the soil profile, because the soil profile can only hold a certain amount of water. Once it gets past that, that extra water is going to go somewhere. It's going to wash over the top. It's going to take nutrients with it. If the nutrients can't stick because there's too much water within the soil, And what happens is the soil, when it's too wet, doesn't act like a sponge. When you get a big rain event, if the soil doesn't have enough bounce to it, they call it, if we don't have enough bounce in our fields, meaning the field can't act like a sponge, the water's got to go somewhere. It's going to go over the top because it doesn't have room to go in. As I said, the soil molecules will only hold a certain amount of water. What this tile is going to do is take the excess water, not all of it, but the excess water that the soil can't hold. After it gets filtered through the soil, it's going to grab that and get it on off the field. What that actually does is filter that water as it's leaving, because potash or potassium and phosphorus will bind tightly with the soil along with nitrogen in the correct form. So Randy was telling me this is the first inner drain plow that they put a reel on to match the speed of the plow. There's a potentiometer right down here that reads the speed of the plow as it slows down and speeds up, and it'll control that reel so that you don't get too much excess pipe coming out. That reel is going to take off and spin freely. I missed it, but basically he closed it off and pinched it shut, drove his extra 10 feet to run the pipe out of the boot here. Now he'll lift that up, we'll drive back and connect back to the sub main. How neat is that? That's pretty neat. And off we go again. So you can see the holes where we've connected already since I've been out here just in the last 30 minutes or so. The excavator's basically going on down through that sub main and connecting to it every so many feet, whatever he needs to do. That way when Randy gets here with the plow, these boys can hook it up right away and this plow never stops moving. So now that you're up and you're driving back, can you give me a quick synopsis of what you're looking at in here, or do you just sit in the AC?
Well, I got the computer up here, so I line up. I got a grid set up there, and then the drawing. So here's kind of here's what we're based off of, that's what we're going by. And then this is my profile line of each run. So that was the last run, the blue line being the pipe and the grid. So as I come in here now, I'm running off of the grid. So I get lined up where I want to be, and then you hit start survey.
So you're surveying this on the way back?
Yep.
So it's not like you're just driving down back, you're actually taking survey for the next run?
Yep, so then I'll follow that back up. You can do, and sometimes we pre-survey and lay them all out, and then I don't have to do them. But when we're doing a pattern style like this, I gotta drive back to the hole anyway, so it's just as easy to do it now. But
sure. So you're telling me you're not just laying pipe in the ground all willy-nilly and hoping that it runs downhill?
No.
Not exactly like that?
Every pipe goes to a sub-main, sub-mains go to sub-mains, to mains, to the outlet. Everything is on a grade, water runs downhill.
So the idea here is to flush out all the fertilizer that you put on this field, right?
Yeah, that's what our hopes are, yeah. So when we over-fertilize, it helps balance that.
Right, because it's always fun to spend extra money on fertilizer.
Yes.
Okay, got it. What about over here? Nintendo?
Gauges.
Just for the machine itself.
Yep.
So how do you play Fortnite?
That's on this one.
Oh, that's on, okay.
Yeah.
So Randy said the main for this field goes all the way to the opposite corner of this field and through the neighbor's cornfield on the other side of the road.
Across the road, through the cornfield, the other side of the road.
So it was an old concrete main that was failing.
Yep.
That you put a new main in, and you actually put it right through the standing corn, right?
Yep.
I know you gotten a lot of questions about that, so explain why you would drive this through standing crop to get that main in.
We wrecked about a 20-foot path of corn, 1.3 acres of corn that we destroyed. The greater good. We would not get this project done this year if we weren't able to go through standing corn.
So you just may as well knock out that acre and a half of corn and get this job done.
Acre and a half of corn, you're talking $700.
Right.
You know, that's well worth it to get a project like this going in the summer.
Yeah. Is that KY?
That is a big tub of lube. It's auto lube. You never want your pins to run dry.
Just watched a couple of dudes put their hoses together. I told them I wouldn't put this on there, but since a few of the guys out there are gonna catch it, they missed the hole when they originally hooked up the pipe. Randy, did you already put your custom master pipe layer steps on it?
We ordered the custom ladder.
The pipe layer steps.
Yeah, the mud
seems to be standard around your machinery.
These custom ladders are pretty standard.
How many hours you got on that thing already, and you bent the ladder?
It's 113 now, but it had like 32.
32 hours on it, and they customized the ladder. So this area right here, where the soil is shiny and my boots are picking up mud, this is the type of stuff that they're tiling for. They can get through this with a tractor most years, most of the time. This is an exceptionally wet year, so this is wetter than normal. So they get through this with a tractor and they plant it and they get a crop here, but it's not much of a crop. By putting in these pipes like this and draining this to the point where it just gets rid of the extra water, they'll have a much, much better crop here. So that pipe pretty much always provides a pretty good return on investment, especially out here. For the people that don't know what's going on here, explain what you're doing and why, and what the advantage is to doing this.
On this project, it's think of the soil as a sponge. So we're drying that sponge out. So next time we get an inch of rain, the ground will be drier and it'll handle basically all of that inch without having runoff.
So it's not going to do something like that to the point where it starts running off and taking soil with it.
Correct.
Because that spot's going to be able to absorb extra water when it rains.
Yep.
Yeah.
And everything is designed and patterned to the contour. So hills and swales, you end up having to go this way and this way, and you know, that's why everything has to run downhill, and we don't want our pipes really any deeper than 3.5 feet, and we don't want them any shallower than 3 feet. So you end up working all the hills and draws.
It's not that you're actually trying to drain the nutrients out, you're actually trying to keep them in place by allowing the soil to hang on to them better.
Keep them in place is what we've been finding doing these pattern style is we raise 15 to 20% better crops, more crops with the same inputs. So the same fertilizer, the same, so instead of raising 200 bushel corn, we're raising 220, 230, 240 bushel corn with the exact same fertilizer.
Same inputs, that's huge.
Yeah.
So what prevented you with the old plow from making a corner like this?
The old plow is a different style plow, so they called that a parallel link.
Okay.
So I don't know if you remember that. That had 2 big arms that went all the way back.
Yep.
And then there just wasn't the clearance to allow this mechanism to swing.
So would you say, that's the boot, right? So
that's the shank. We call that the shank. The boot is on the back, and that's what the pipe runs down. And that's what we change for different sizes of pipe. That way it makes a nice round bottom for the pipe to go through.
Makes a better trench for the pipe to sit in.
So this boot runs 4, 5, and 6 inch pipe, and then when we go to 8-inch pipe, we switch boots, and then 8 and 10 goes down that boot, and then the bigger one is for 12 and 15 inch. And then with that, you change, there's 2 angle irons on each side of the shank, 5 bolts, switch them, and then the nose cone. So the whole thing really gets switched over.
So, you ever get a tile plow stuck?
Nope.
No.
Just hook more iron on the front of it.
Hook more iron on.
Yeah. There's a dozer up there with a cable winch on it when it gets bad.
That's right, I saw that hanging.
We won't have an issue here.
Well, looks like we got some thunderheads building to the southeast. Shouldn't be a problem for us as long as we don't get more building to the west. So here you can see the trench here. This tile is probably 3.5 feet below this trench once this trench is knocked down flush with the rest of the land. Laying pipe sure can make a guy sweaty. By the way, if you want to look really cool while you're out here sweating, get yourself a pair of Walls cargo shorts and some Irish Setter work boots from Chet's. Just trust me, the chicks will find you. Of course, I've been out here for a while and I don't see a lot of women around here. Weird. So will you guys put a cover crop in once you're done here?
We will.
Yeah.
Yes. As soon as we're done.
You're gonna not continue with the water hemp crop?
No, this is terrible. No, as soon as we're done here, it'll get the trench lines will get leveled. work it down, and then we're gonna throw some oats out here for a cover crop.
Throw some oats on it?
Yep.
Then will you just will those winter kill then?
Undecided yet.
Okay.
We will probably end up, I don't know, it's depending on how hairy they get.
Randy, I'm driving a plow.
Where's the steering wheel?
Right here. Yeah, see, you thought you were so smart.
Steering wheel, joystick.
Yeah.
2 joysticks.
Two, like 3, multiple joysticks, multiple doors. That one's off now, but screens all around.
Nice water holder over there.
Yeah. You think you could outrun the cops in this at 3 miles an hour?
Definitely not.
No?
Well, I could run over the cops.
Yeah.
Yeah, at 3 miles an hour.
That would make the next one very upset with you.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, it was a fun idea. All right. It's the first time I've ever turned off an inner drain. Did I do good, Dad?
You did well.
Randy wants to teach us something. All right, what do we got here?
Everyone keeps asking what we do when we get a tile plow stuff.
Yep.
Well, we wheel this cable out and we hook that onto the front of it. We anchor this dozer.
The front being the side not pulling the pipe.
Correct.
The front being the back.
There's a cable runs all the way under the plow.
Yep.
That we hook to. And then we anchor the dozer and winch her in 60-ton winch.
So you pull it with this winch. You're not driving it with the dozer. You're winching it.
We'll drive with the dozer as long as we can.
Okay.
But then when the dozer loses traction, I lose traction. Then
you winch.
He puts the blade down, picks it way up in the air, so the tracks dig into the ground, and we pull.
Next time you got that situation, give me a call. I'll drop everything. I'll be out here in 2-3 hours, and then we'll get that on
the guys
video.
won't mind at all.
No, they won't care, especially if they're standing out there in the heat.
Correct.
I mean, I brought them ice cream, so they should be grateful. You'd think they'd wait around for me next time. There's the cable under here that they hook to. That's a cute little cable.
Yes.
So how much fuel do you go through in a day?
It's actually not that bad.
It's not
probably 10-hour day, 150 gallons between all 3.
Uh-huh. So how long does it take you to pump 150 gallons with that?
Oh, minute, 2.
You energy wasting fossil fuel redneck.
No, efficient.
Just take it as a compliment, would you?
But we do have added on here, as Brian from Brian's farming videos would say, government juice.
There you go. All right, I've only ever run a hoe one time. And he was driving across the field. I didn't even hoe with it.
Oh.
So I don't know what I'm doing.
Oh. An excavator you're talking.
Well, yeah.
Orange lever.
Why's he got the radio on so loud?
Push the left trigger. Left trigger. That one.
Oh, there we go.
All right, flip that forward.
That was terrible music.
Flip that guy forward.
This one?
Yep. There you go.
Now I'm safe because
Now you're safe. Turn the throttle up some. Right there. Spin the knob. Yep. Pull back, push forward. You'll figure it out. Look at that. He goes from making videos to running hose.
You watch this. I'll dig a hole.
You dig a hole. Well, generally don't lift the tracks up when you're digging a hole, but you know. Yep. No. Yep. It's little. Well, technically that's a hole. Well, close enough.
See?
Better get out of there before Sam gets really mad.
Sorry I played with your hoe, Sam.
You're just fine.
Randy, I could use a case of beer.
Yes, I'm assuming you brought one.
No, that's not going to stay cold in weather like this.
Do you have a cooler?
No, but I know where the bar's at.
Didn't FBN give you a nice cooler?
No.
I'm
Farmers
you
Business
sure?
Network, I found out through Randy that FBN has coolers.
Yeah.
I just got the canned koozies. I got a lot of those.
Oh, yeah, they won't keep it cool in this weather.
Yeah, no, those don't. Well, they work for a little bit,
Yes.
but I always lose them. Where are we headed?
So that pipe crosses the road here. And then
That's the
our
field
project. Yep. So we
we're
crossed
obviously
the road,
just in.
We plowed up to here, dug through the road at the hole, through 2 wires,
Yep.
power and fiber optic telephone.
Phone call. So this is part of the 1.3 acres of corn that you ran down, putting this main line in.
Correct.
How deep is this line here? You must have had to go pretty deep.
Back there was 8 feet at the deepest. Right here, it's probably 5.
Oh, it's not as deep as I was thinking then. As wet as you guys have been, you can actually see that corn starting to twist up a little bit. Getting a little bit pineapple-y.
So this is our outlet from this project. It runs through the trees here and into it's actually a fish and wildlife easement. So before we leave here, we need to come down here and landscape this. We'll rock this outlet nice so any water that does run down the hill won't start washing out alongside this pipe.
Sure. So for times of high flow, you're going to stop the erosion in here.
Yep. So it doesn't wash it out.
Right. And how many feet would you say, or maybe you know exactly how many feet we are from the other end of the project?
I think it was 4,600 feet. 4,600
feet of main
tile line, yep.
15 inch.
15 dual wall, so it's smooth on the inside.
Yep.
So it's 2,400 feet of 15 dual wall, and then I think it was 2,100 feet of 12.
Of 12 inch?
Yep. 12
okay.
Inch. The amount of water coming out of this pipe right now, there is 0 surface water out there right now. Everything, all this water is filtering through the dirt, through the pipes.
So this is all subsurface.
So there's 100 and I'd have to look, but I think 120 acres of water that comes through this pipe.
Oh, don't touch that. That's field water.
Oh, yeah.
Does it burn? Here, I got an empty water bottle. Bottoms up.
That's good stuff.
Ah, yeah, it is. I did that for effect. I wish I hadn't. No! Randy! I got him back to life. Whew.
I couldn't hold game face.
That's all right. That'll make it even funnier.